You know, in the House, we passed a continuing resolution, and we didn't want to play any politics. So we funded the Children's Health Insurance Program. Unfortunately, the Democrats didn't want to do that, and we funded the government for the next month so we could solve this DACA issue. We've been meeting on a bicameral, bipartisan basis in my office every single day since the meeting with the down at the White House, and we were making good progress. Unfortunately, on the Senate side, they shut down, but they can't tell us what they shut down over, so it's very difficult to try to figure out how to get out of this. And
you know, this morning we had another guest, a D.C. analyst type, suggesting that Chuck Schumer was, quote unquote, sucking in the GOP, because if there ends up being another short-term extension, all of a sudden you're up against the March debt ceiling hike. This could get pretty nasty. Does he have a point?
No, what Chuck was doing in this process, I mean, he doesn't know why he's doing it, so he can't tell you why and what it takes to get out of it. But unfortunately, when you start this on a weekend, nobody wins on this. But when you get into Monday, this is a real shutdown now. These are people not going to work. This is a military not being paid. This is children's health insurance in a number of states being shut down. This is a serious situation, and no one's going to win in this. That's why I think when you look at the compromise that Mitch McConnell said, it actually brought people back over. But again, Schumer said he's not sure of it because he can't tell you what he wants out of it.
So do you think that come noon that the Senate should consider just opening the government with 51 votes?
I think they need to open the government, yes. If it takes 51 votes, do it then, because that's the same percentage it took to keep the government open in the House. This has become really a real challenge that people would hold you hostage, that you have to believe with them 100%. Instead of what this government is really created upon, you have to find compromise.
Leader McCarthy, some would say the far reaches of your party, your own party, are holding the rest of the caucus hostage with demands that Senator Graham has called extreme and unrealistic, speaking of their views on immigration.
Well, that's not true, because if you look at the votes, tell me where those extreme elements of our conference were. Keeping the government open. So, I mean, you can play politics on both sides. It's easy to do. I'd rather put the people before politics and solve this problem. So if you're serious about that, why are you afraid to have the government open where you can go back to the table and you can solve whatever problem you want? Look, we have passed in this side of the House all the appropriation bills. We have passed the supplemental funding for those in California with the fires and the mudslides, in Texas, in Florida, in Puerto Rico, in Virgin Islands. That's all being held up by Chuck Schumer.
Well, but
the children's health insurance is held up by Chuck Schumer. All because he's worried about something in March.
Senator Schumer was said to have offered full funding for the wall. If that's the case, why don't we have a deal?
Well, that's not true, because when we were sitting in the White House in a bicameral, bipartisan, we narrowed it to 4 topics to solve the DACA issue. Because what's most important here is you don't want to be back here in another 2 years dealing with this problem again. Let's solve it once and for all. So yes, you have to deal with border security, and he didn't offer full funding for it. He may claim that. He said, I'll promise it in the future sometime you'll vote for it. He didn't deal with, if you're going to do with chain migration, which brings a tremendous problem in the future that will be right back here, or even in the merit system of what we're going to do going forward. Let's be responsible here, solve a problem to put America on the 21st century going forward to be able to deal with these problems.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.